What's going on, folks? It's Pastor Hassan, and it's time for our weekly update. Just to let you know a few things that are coming up in the next few days. And first up, we're going to have our next prayer meeting on Thursday, November 12th at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So keep an eye out for the invitation to that. I've been kind of slacking on this, but I'll also send around the prayer list ahead of that meeting as well. And even if you don't happen to come to prayer meeting, I'll circulate that on the current email list that I have, so you'll at least have access to some of the prayer needs that are floating around in the congregation. So that's going to happen on Thursday at 2 o'clock, and then next up on Friday, the 13th of November, we're going to have our next devotional. And this devotional is going to be tied to the last section of First Corinthians 14. So that's actually what we're going to be looking at on this Sunday, Lord willing. We'll look at verses um, 26 to 40 and finish out the chapter. So be on the lookout for that devotional that's going to be taking place, Lord willing, on Friday at 9 o'clock in the morning. And then we're into Sunday. Um, Sunday, November 15th, we're going to have our in-person gathering as well as the live stream. We're still in process, working out all of the details with that. We've successfully live streamed the service for the last 2 weeks. I think that the audio wasn't quite as good this past week as it was the week before, but we're going to get those things ironed out. Shout out to Devon and Deacon Sean James for working tirelessly on that. But we're going to have our in-person gathering and our live stream at 10:45 a.m. And we're going to work on streaming that strictly on YouTube, just to kind of minimize the bouncing around of different platforms and so on. And as I said, I think in the last video, we eventually want to link all of these things to our church website, thistletownbaptist.ca, so that you can go there and get all of the information that you need. So that's happening first thing on Sunday morning. And then next up, we'll have a brief members meeting immediately following the service, just to vote on admitting someone into membership. And so if you're here with us on Sunday, just be mindful of that. We've interviewed a brother who's applied for membership, and we just want to put him before the congregation to be voted on and Lord willing, accepted into membership. So that shouldn't take too much time immediately following the service. And then next up, we're going to have our discussion group at 2 o'clock. It's been some pretty, and I'm partial, but it's been really helpful, these conversations that we've been able to have around the sermon. And the most encouraging thing for me is just being able to hear and see the way that the Lord is working in different individuals in our congregation. It's amazing what you find out about people and what they know and their relationship with the Lord when you actually get an opportunity to hear them speak. And so this has been a really profitable time for us, just in terms of sharpening one another. And I'm seeing lots of good stuff coming out of these studies. So it's not just staying confined to us discussing the Bible, but by God's grace, we're seeing some of the things that we're discussing being put into practice, and we want to see more and more of that. So join us if you can at 2 o'clock in the afternoon on Sunday. And then we got the kids group, junior church, meeting at 4 o'clock from 4 to 4:30, and really helpful time, encouraging for the kids and for the parents as well. So tune in for that. Or even if you don't have kids of your own, and you have a friend or someone that you're connected with that has some kids that might benefit from something like this or might enjoy it, yeah, just touch base with me and I can put you in touch with the right people, and we can see if we can make that happen. So that's at 4 to 4:30 on Sunday, junior church. And then lastly, we'll wrap things up with a new study that's starting in Sunday school. So finished up with the book of Acts and starting this Sunday at 6:30, Lord willing. The Sunday school class is going to start studying through Jesus's Sermon on the Mount. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, just from if if I can remember from the email, you're going to be looking at the first 12 verses of Jesus' Sermon on the Mount. So, um, yeah, you can have a look at that and join in on that class if you're able to on Sunday at 6:30. And then last up is just a reminder of our memory verse for the month of November, thinking about the jealousy of God. We are memorizing and hopefully meditating on Nahum chapter 1, verse 2, which says, God is jealous and the Lord avenges. The Lord avenges and is furious. The Lord will take vengeance on his adversaries, and he reserves wrath for his enemies. And so that's what we're dealing with, and it sounds like whoa, like that's pretty scary. Um, People don't often like to think about God in these terms, or people don't like to think about God at all because of things like this. But we got to understand that God's jealousy is very much a part of who He is, and even in the face of Him being a jealous God who um, has vengeance and is full of wrath and those sorts of things, we also need to bear in mind you got to balance God's attributes out. Like you got to take them all together. Like he is a God who is also slow to anger and abounding in steadfast love. But he will by no means clear the guilty, and he does not take lightly to his name being dragged through the mud. And so we're going to work on that, and Lord willing, be meditating, as I said, on the jealousy of God and what that means for us, why that matters. So I'd encourage you to do that. If you haven't already started, get started on that. We got another couple of weeks, few weeks yet, and then Lord willing, we'll recite it together. But that's it in the way of announcements. For those of you out who are thinking, like, who is this crazy dude impersonating our pastor with all that hair? Um, don't worry. I'm hoping to get my hair braided before Sunday rolls around. But who knows? I might just roll up in the pulpit with my fro out. But either way it goes, the word, I'm going to bring you the word by God's grace. And hopefully it'll be a blessing to us as a congregation. But in the meantime, everybody take care. And Lord willing, we'll talk to you soon. All right. Love y'all. And we'll see you later. Bye.